Hello, my beautiful friends. Welcome back to the vlog. Obviously, welcome to me sitting down and doing my makeup because that's what I always do at the beginning of these vlogs. I wanted to just sit down, kind of let you know what's up, give you a little bit of a life update and what to expect from this vlog. I feel like this is the week that my life fully begins. I have been anticipating this week for quite a while at this point. It's nice to like get the ball rolling. It feels like I'm finally doing some things for myself, which feels really good. So Tuesday, which is tomorrow, today's Monday, by the way. Tuesday at 1 o'clock, we have our infertility consultation. I've been really nervous about this, obviously. I talked about it a little bit in the Q&A that I did recently. I'll leave a link in the description, but I've never had my blood drawn and I've been terrified at the prospect of having to do that. I did some more research. It seems unlikely that that's actually going to happen in this initial consultation. And now that I'm pretty sure that that's not going to happen, I feel like I'm getting more excited rather than nervous about this because it feels like as scary and as unfun as this is going to be, we're finally getting more information and we're finally like, getting the ball rolling. I feel like for the past year, not having answers, just not kind of knowing what's up and not knowing if we're going to be able to have kids, it's just been stressful. I mean, obviously the whole process is stressful, but I think I'm someone who thrives on action rather than inaction, rather than like open question marks. I know some people, and I've been this person in the past, some people feel better just not knowing. Like if I just don't think about it, if I avoid thinking those thoughts, then maybe it just won't exist. I'm unfortunately not that kind of person anymore, and I would much rather have answers. So I'm excited to go get those answers. Obviously, we won't get them all at once, most likely, in this first consultation, but at least we're kind of getting somewhere and getting the ball rolling. So that's like, I would say one of the biggest things that's happening this week. There's another thing that's happening that I am going to wait until it happens to show you. We are doing something exciting on Thursday. I'm very excited to bring you along with us for that. I want to wait until it happens to really like explain everything. So Thursday is a really big day for us as well. And then there's just like so many little things that are also happening. I need to get my nails done because, if you're going for an infertility consultation, if you didn't know, you typically get a pelvic exam and then like an ultrasound situation. And if someone's eye level with my grippers, I would like my toes to look nice. And I have grown out gel polish and grown out acrylic on my nails. I don't have acrylic on my toes, just gel. I would like to get a mani-pedi today to feel like confident going into that consultation. I also need to do some like, general housekeeping, like Amazon returns and stuff. Since I decided to take today off kind of in preparation for tomorrow, I want to get as much stuff done today as possible. I also have a lot to do for my channel. It's like I always put off things until the end of the month. And this month specifically, I feel like I have so much stuff to do. I have 2 vlogs and videos that I'm like working on besides this one. And I also have a Patreon exclusive vlog that I'm working on. So 3 different videos. One is just something I need to edit. One is something I need to film, edit, and upload for Wednesday. It's my Grumpy Sunshine vlog that y'all should see. Honestly, I think you see it before this one. And then I'm also again working on that Patreon exclusive vlog. And like the last Patreon vlog that I do every month at this point is a planned secret TBR video. So there's like an additional one of those every month over on Patreon if you want to subscribe. Shameless plug, but yeah, just so much to do this week. And I'm gonna like take you behind the scenes with me and just kind of show you what my weeks look like when I'm busy and just like how it is to like run my channel, I guess. I also am planning on doing some reading here in this video if I can manage it. I'm not gonna like stress myself out about it, but I came across a list that I was really excited about. It was a list that initially I was like, I don't know about this, but I looked at the books on it and I've read all but like 7. So I'm working my way through those 7 books so I can make a list video in July. Maybe I'll listen to some audiobooks and we can talk about them. The books on the list are pretty interesting. Like the ones that I haven't read are pretty interesting. I guess I could like tell you what those are. Spare, the biography by Prince Harry. Carrie Soto is back. I told myself I wouldn't read it, but I have a free audiobook copy and I need to read it for this video. The Perfect Marriage, which is on KU, and I'm excited to read that one. Mad Honey, Remarkably Bright Creatures. I think both of those are like literary fiction, which I'm less excited about, but like it's a thing. And then One True Loves, I think is the only book that I haven't read by Taylor Jenkins Reid, I guess, besides Carrie Soto is back. So I will be reading both of those. Maybe not in this video, but over the next few weeks. Maybe I will prioritize reading those books in these videos so you can like hear my thoughts and feelings in depth before I do a list video on them. But that is sort of, the game plan, I guess, for both today and the rest of the week. Just listen to a shitload of books, do a ton of vlogging, and take you along with me for it. Any other exciting things on the horizon? Oh, some of the samples for my merch I think are coming in this week, and I'm hopefully going to show you some of those. I only ordered like 2 pieces of the I Can't Do Math, but like 14 pieces that we are releasing. 2 of those 14 pieces are going to be delivered. I wanted to just like get an initial sample to see if this font that I like is like nice embroidered, like if the embroidery works out for a font this thin. I'm really happy with the pieces that I've designed. My goal is to release like new collections seasonally and just have like fun stuff there. I've always really been into fashion, which you wouldn't know if you watch my channel regularly because I pretty much only wear sweatshirts, but this is the perfect intersection of my interests because I really fucking like sweatshirts and t-shirts, and designing them myself is exciting. Like I just love doing stuff like that. I'm not the most talented designer ever. I don't like have a degree in graphic design or anything like that, but I like the idea of being able to release new stuff. And I feel like for me, I just haven't bought a lot of like bookish merch in the past because it hasn't been exactly my aesthetic. And so I was like, you know, I just will make some stuff that's my aesthetic. So even if no one cares or no one wants to buy it, at least I will have it for myself. So I am excited about those samples coming in, and I will definitely show you those when they are here and when they're delivered. I have not started a book, so I don't really have anything to share with you at this particular moment. I am going to go ahead and finish up my makeup, and I am actually going to head out and go get my nails done, eat lunch, do those returns, do all of the things that I need to do, go get some paperwork, and then I will come back and update you. Maybe I'll show you like what we're having for dinner. We have a monthly live show today, which is again like a Patreon thing where we read smut every month together. So I have to do that at 5, and then, you know, Hayden's gonna cook for us. I picked some really good recipes for this week, so I will definitely be showing you all that he is cooking for us. I always forget to do that. Like I'm midway through eating and I'm like, shit, I did not film a clip of what we're eating, but I set like reminders or something on my phone so that I can actually show you. Lots of delicious pasta and lots of like mushroomy dishes because Hayden found some, I guess, unique varieties of mushrooms at Central Market, and he's like excited to throw those into recipes. So anyway, I've been rambling for far too long, almost 10 minutes at this point. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up my makeup, and I will see y'all in a little bit.
Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden, 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 golden things. Mountain laurel high fives for miles in spring. Rainbow trout and a hummingbird wing. Golden, I'll follow only golden, golden, golden things.
I actually just filmed a clip with Hayden in the car. It was mostly just me talking about our fertility consultation, but honestly, I feel like I needed to like simmer with my thoughts and feelings even more before I really talked to you about it, and I feel like I've simmered for the past like hour, and I have thoughts and feelings to share. So we went and talked to our, you know, potential doctor or RE. We're gonna use this clinic, so she is our RE, reproductive endocrinologist. For those that don't know the terminology, I'll try my best to like define terms for people who are like unfamiliar with the IVF process or like infertility, but we went and talked to our doctor. We did kind of like a regular consultation, I guess. She got our family histories and learned more just like about us in general, kind of told her what was up with Hayden. We did a transvaginal ultrasound, an exam basically to see my uterus, to see if there's anything going on there, and to look at my ovaries. We did get news from that, and I was both like relieved and also, honestly, I wasn't even upset in the moment, and I'm not upset now, but it does just complicate things. So as I had kind of suspected, I do in fact have PCOS. A blood test needs to confirm that for sure, but when looking at my ovaries, it was very clear that I have a lot of eggs in there, and that I have basically all of the physical manifestations, I suppose, of PCOS. Besides like the excessive body hair, I have heavy irregular periods, and you know, I have cysts on my ovaries, so I very much have PCOS. So it feels weird but also good to like know that I know my body so well. For the past like 6 months of us trying, I have been thinking to myself like, maybe I have PCOS because of the symptoms I'm having, but I kept like almost gaslighting myself into not believing that, and now like having confirmation, I don't know, I feel like both good and bad, you know? It's like you never want to hear something's wrong with you, but it's nice to know that my intuition kind of told me that. During that exam, that's all we found. My uterus looks really good. It's shaped normally, and I don't have any fibroids or any like signs of endo, although I'm pretty sure with endometriosis there's like more to testing than just a simple ultrasound. But yeah, that's like all that we know so far. We did get some blood work ordered, so I need to go do that sometime this week. I'm terrified of it, like I've told y'all before, like I've never had my blood drawn, so I'm curious to see how that goes. I am holding myself to going and doing it on Friday and like not putting it off for longer, because I just feel like if I wait too long, I'll just never do it. We'll get that blood work done. It doesn't seem like it's going to be too intense. Like there's 3 different things that need to happen, just like a hormonal panel, infectious disease panel, and then also carrier screening test or whatever, basically to see if we're carriers for any sort of genetic disorders or diseases. So lots to think about. I feel like a lot of people after coming out of one of those exams or, you know, consultations have a lot of like thoughts and feelings swirling, and I feel like over time I will probably have even more things that that kind of like pop into my head as like potential things that I'm feeling. But at the moment, I'm actually feeling pretty good, which is good. I really didn't know how I would feel. I was really terrified going into this. I was scared that like I wouldn't have ovaries or like just something, you know, anatomically would be wrong with me, but it doesn't seem like that's the case, which is, you know, obviously really reassuring. So we basically just have to get some tests done. Hayden has to get similar tests done to me, although I don't think he has to do the hormonal panel like for him, because since he's already done that for his GP, and he has to have another count done. I think he called it a good test. So yeah, that's kind of it. Like that's kind of where things are going. I really like our doctor. I think she seems really cool from everything that I know. And it's interesting, like whenever I looked her up, I found her Instagram account. It seems like she publishes related to her job, and it seems like she has a lot of experience with PCOS specifically, which is really, you know, again, reassuring. I was looking at this like online calculator, I think that's done by, I don't know, like whatever database of records is kept for people going through IVF, and it kind of says put in your risk factors and it'll tell you your like likelihood of success. And I looked at the success rates with our factors with me having PCOS or not having PCOS. I did this before this appointment, and it actually said that with PCOS I have a higher chance of getting pregnant, and I think it was like in the 60s for a first round, like 60% with first round IVF. So I'm praying that that is us. I'm praying that we're in that 60%. I would really love to only have to do this once. Obviously I don't get to control that, and I think that's the one thing that's like kind of scaring me right now in terms of like emotions. I feel like I'm doing pretty well emotionally. I mean, I just feel like I have this sense of like disbelief almost. It's like I'm accepting it, but it also doesn't feel real. Like obviously if you're like trying to have a child, like you want the end result to be a pregnancy, but the mental state and kind of like the mental hoops that you jump through obviously are different for spontaneous pregnancy versus, you know, something like medical like an IVF. And so it's strange sort of to conceptualize that like I'm actively doing something to have a thing growing inside of me. Like that's kind of weird to even think about. Like at the end of like all of this, you're going through something hoping for a certain result, but it's like once you actually get there, there's a whole host of other things that you have to start thinking about. That's something that has been crossing my mind lately, is like, wow, I'm doing all of this stuff to become pregnant, and pregnancy itself is scary. Hopeful that this will be the answer for us and like that this will all go well. So just wanted to give y'all a little update. I know I said I would update you throughout this process, and I'm glad that I got to do this update and like really, you know, give you all of my thoughts and feelings. I think when I was in the car, I only talked for a couple minutes, and I really wanted to like get it all out because I'm sure my thoughts and feelings will change over the process, and I would love to see, you know, bright shiny me at this point, and hopefully I won't get jaded, but you know, if I do, I can go back to this this video and see how he's feeling. So yeah, in terms of other stuff, it is Tuesday, it's like 4 o'clock I think. Yeah, 4 o'clock, and I desperately need to read for my Grumpy Sunshine videos. I think that's what I'm gonna do. If we have anything exciting for dinner, I guess I'll do a little b-roll moment again like I did, you know, on Monday, but I think I probably won't update you again until either tomorrow or Thursday. I actually really don't know. Thursday's the exciting day, like I told y'all. So IVF update over. Happy Wednesday. Pepper's eating his wet food in the background, so if you hear macaroni in the pot sort of noises, that's him. I took the cats to the vet and they are perfect, which is so validating as a pet parent, like constantly worried and anxious about like if they're healthy. I mean, they've never really shown signs of being unhealthy for the most part, but Pepper's really small, Teddy is really big, and you know, sometimes I wonder if they're healthy. Their coats are absolutely beautiful. Their body condition scores are perfect. If you didn't know, the way that they like look at cats and determine if they're healthy is by basically feeling their body, looking at their body from the top and making sure that that everything looks good. You should be able to feel a little bit of bone, but not a ton. Validating. It made me feel really good as a pet parent to know that like they're in good shape. I got that knocked out, and I got the Grumpy Sunshine video knocked out today, which I feel really good and accomplished about. I still need to make my Patreon exclusive reading vlog for the month. I'm probably going to be doing that mostly tomorrow before I go on my little trip. I wanted to pop in because I'm reading 2 books and I thought I could tell you my thoughts and feelings on them. And then I also wanted to talk more about PCOS. I posted about it on Instagram that, you know, that was my diagnosis, and I got so many interesting replies. A lot of really nice people offering me advice for my blood draw, which I'm going to be doing next week. And then some interesting comments and feedback about PCOS. And it was just interesting hearing people's responses and like how they feel about their own PCOS diagnosis. But I'll be honest, a little more time to think about it. I feel like obviously mixed feelings. Again, you don't... Pepper is very aggressive today. No one wants anything to be wrong with them, but I'm not upset by my diagnosis. I think I said it a little bit yesterday, but I really want to like drive that home. I'm really not upset about it. I think that it's frustrating. It's just validating in a lot of ways. I feel like I know my body well now, and it just explains like little quirks about myself. Like I wouldn't change myself, to be honest. This is just part of me. Would I change the excruciating period cramps and heavy periods? Yes. Which I was reminded of today. I was like, I need to get in front of a camera and just like talk about PCOS again, because honestly, it's such a weird thing. My periods suck, and they've always sucked, and part of me like was just thinking to myself, how did I not know my entire life that this wasn't normal. But I think I always knew deep down. I really always knew that something was up, whether it was endo or PCOS or something. Like I kind of knew that this wasn't normal, but I didn't want to admit it to myself. I don't know. It's been a weird journey, ups and downs, especially like with my period coming. It kind of put into me an even more like renewed sense of this is interesting. In terms of my other PCOS symptoms, I did want to share those with you. My main symptoms are heavy, irregular periods. My periods have not always been irregular, so that was kind of like a weird thing for me. I've been on various different kinds of birth control over the years, whether that's hormonal or non-hormonal forms, and historically I've had very regular periods, heavy but regular periods. But for the past year and a half, they've been irregular, and so I was kind of like, can I develop PCOS? Can you develop PCOS if you're almost 30? Have I always had it? But I kind of felt like something was up. So that's like my main symptoms, like heavy irregular periods, not really like increased body hair. I know that's like a pretty common PCOS thing. I don't get the cystic acne either. I mean, I've always had acne. I've always had body hair. Like, those are things. Not to like the extent I think that some PCOSers have. And I do think I might be insulin resistant. I think my blood work will determine that for sure. But especially over this past year and a half, I've realized that like my insulin sensitivity is a little bit messed up. And there's definitely something there. I don't know if like I'm just like maybe a little hypoglycemic or what, but like there's definitely something there with my blood sugar and with like my insulin resistance. So those are kind of like my main things. It's just kind of like how it's been my whole life. It's not like I've noticed changes really for like the grand period of my life. Like this is just my life, and it's interesting to have like a name to put to it, but I'm not mad at it. Like this is just me. It is what it is. But I do think going forward, like there's some things that I will be doing to help kind of manage my symptoms, and with my sweet intuition and or like, I mean, textbook PCOS symptoms over the past like 6 months, I have been doing things to kind of like help. I have been taking like an inositol supplement. It's supposed to help like, you know, regulate your periods. It never did for me, but I have been trying to be smarter about eating protein in the morning. I'm not always great about it. Just doing things that I think I've heard about for PCOS. Also, like my TikTok For You page was all people with PCOS. Like, why did I not know that I had this, y'all? I mean, it's like I did, but I didn't. So many thoughts and feelings. What is the big deal with these fucking cramps though, y'all? I started my period today and I am not doing good. I was gonna go get my blood draw on Friday, but I am presently losing blood from another place, and it just didn't feel like a great idea. I would like to take so many Advil right now that my stomach lining looks like Swiss cheese, and I don't think that's really like compatible with getting a blood draw, so I'm gonna do that next week instead. And given the week I had, I think that that's good. It's like a reward. That aside, let's talk about books, right? So like I told y'all, I'm reading books for that like 40 most popular video, and so I started The Perfect Marriage, and Carrie Soto is back. So The Perfect Marriage, I'm like 10% into, and I'm like 15% into Carrie Soto, so not very far into either. But The Perfect Marriage is interesting. It's a married couple, a very successful attorney wife, and a less successful writer husband. He has felt like emasculated this entire marriage, but he really loves his wife, but doesn't love her enough to not cheat on her. So he's like cheating on his wife, and he has like a steady mistress going on as well. Essentially, he's accused of killing his mistress, and his wife's an attorney, so I'm like, is she gonna defend him? I like that there's a big thing that happens at the beginning of this book, and I'm curious to see like where these twists and turns go. I feel like usually if you're gonna have something plot-wise like this, that usually happens later on. So I like that it's happening in the beginning, and I'm wondering what routes things are gonna take and how wild things are gonna get. It's a book that exists. The writing is so different than The Housemaid. They're both KU thrillers. I don't know if they were like originally published for KU or what, but Housemaid felt a little unpolished, though I really liked that and thought it was a lot of fun. That's another book that I'm reading for this video. But The Perfect Marriage is different. It's kind of try hard in the writing, and I don't know if I like it. It's like definitely a less seamless read, but I feel like I'm getting similar vibes from like both of the books in terms of like just married people drama. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't, but I think lately I've just been like, all right, sign me up. My marriage is boring in a good way. So like, let me read about some messy marriages. Let's talk about Carrie Soto is back. This book is so freaking boring. I am not really understanding the hype on this one. I know that there are going to be like Taylor Jenkins Reid fans screaming at me in the comments. I get it, but also I don't get it, because what is this book? I opened it up. It's about this girl named Carrie, and her dad is like yelling at her about being a tennis star, and like she needs to try harder and she needs to be good at tennis. And I'm just like, I don't care. It is told in like, I guess kind of sequential order. I was trying to figure that out since I'm listening to the audiobook rather than reading the physical copy of the book. It seems like it is told for the most part in sequential order. Yeah, like we do have a couple of flash forwards into like the 90s and stuff when I guess she makes her comeback, but we get to see kind of like her training and her getting better at being a tennis player. I'm just like, no, I don't care. She started sleeping with somebody, and I'm like, oh, I thought you were a kid, so what, how is this timeline working? I frankly don't get it. I guess I just need to listen to more of it, but like, I do not get it. In other news, more exciting news. This is the last thing I'm gonna say today because I've been talking for way too long. Our merch samples came in, and I am so happy with them. I decided that I wanted to create my own merch because I've always wanted to like have my own merch. I've always said like I wouldn't do it because I wanted to ensure that the quality was really good, and places that I've looked at in the past, I have not been impressed with the quality of the t-shirts and just like what they offer. And a merch company reached out to me, and I was immediately impressed impressed with the products they offered. I have been designing merch for a while. If you watched the last vlog, if you watched my vacation vlog, I talked a little bit about how I created merch when I was on vacation because it was raining a lot in Florida, but I've created 15 different pieces. Not all are unique designs. They're like designs that span t-shirt and hat and sweatshirt, but I have a bunch of different designs and I really liked this font, this particular like kind of thin font. I wasn't sure how this would like actually embroider because they said if it's too thin, we might not be able to embroider it, but I think it turned out really, really well. I love how minimal it is. It was something I wanted. I wanted to be able to make pieces that were personal to me. Obviously, like Don't Bitch Book Club's a book club I started with my husband, and I wanted it to be, yeah, minimal and cute. If you don't want to have bitch embroidered across your, chest, there's going to be stuff that's a little bit more subtle as well. And my hope is to do collections every like season or whatever. I've already kind of started thinking about fall and like Halloween time and doing like merch related to that, and almost none of the merch has my name on it, which I personally like. That was the thing that was like holding me back from making merch, was that I just assumed that if you put stuff out it had to have your name on it, and I just want to wear my name emblazoned across their chest. I do, which is why there's one singular piece of clothing that I'm putting out that's gonna have like my name on it, but everything else is Chan related, but like could be not Chan related. You could wear this and someone would have no idea. But this is something that we will be offering for sure. This is a really like high quality hooded sweatshirt with Dumb Bitch Book Club embroidered across the chest. They're also going to have a lot of non-hooded sweatshirts, some of which are embroidered, some of which are not, just depending on the product offering. Some of the items I can't get embroidery on. I could just do screen printing, which is fine. I'm so excited that this prototype like turned out so well. Once all of the rest of the samples come in over the next couple of weeks, Hayden and I are going to take beautiful product pictures, put them up on the site, and show y'all what we have to offer. I'm so hyped for this, y'all. Anyway, it's time for me to get back in bed and get that heating pad just really cooking the eggs, because I am kind of dying a little bit. But I will see y'all bright and early tomorrow morning. Take you along with me for an exciting day ahead. I hope y'all enjoyed that sweet little b-roll montage moment of the new babies. I am so excited, and it has been such a joy to bring these two babies home. Hayden and I didn't intend to get kittens as quickly as we did. I told y'all in the Q&A that I did intend to get more cats eventually, but the right opportunity arose and I just kind of took that opportunity. It felt right. One of the kittens that we adopted, the tiny white one, his name is Sebastian. He is deaf. I knew that animals with any sort of differences, whether they're deaf or whether they are missing limbs, they tend to get adopted less often, and when I saw him I was like, I have to do it. Reminded me a little bit of Nugget because he's just like an all white little fluff ball. That's what Nugget looked like when he was a baby. He was also the runt of his litter, so just super tiny, kind of reminded me of Pepper in that way. And I just really felt like 4 was a good number for our family, and because I knew kittens do better in pairs, I also got another kitten. His name is Sully. So Sully and Sebastian, we call Sebastian Bash, which could not be a more apt name for him in the like day and a half that we've had him. Y'all, he is the most fearless kitten I think I've ever had. He is incredibly sweet, incredibly cuddly, and has no fear. I showed y'all some footage of him kind of going up to Dingo, but this morning it was super precious. Dingo has a bed right next to our bed. Whenever I let Sebastian out in the morning, he like walked up to Dingo and was sniffing his face, and Dingo got scared and jumped on our bed, and it was just honestly so precious, like seeing their interactions, especially like knowing the kind of relationship that Teddy has with the dogs as well. Getting to raise kittens side by side with like dogs is just fucking precious. Like the big dog next to the tiny kitten, they're such a joy. Sully is like so much more shy than I anticipated though, y'all. He is adorable. I guess since he's in a new environment and he can hear, he is not used to all of the loud noises and stuff, so he is a little bit more timid and shy, but he is super sweet as well. And honestly, watching them play and entertain each other is incredible. They slept in our bathroom last night and were able to entertain themselves to where we didn't wake up at all, which was incredible. And when I walked in there this morning, this is what they look like, y'all. They were sleeping on this blanket together. It was amazing. I am so happy, so excited, and I really feel like this was the right time and the right decision for us. That IVF consult, and then, you know, a few days later I got to like treat myself, and not just treat myself, like this is a obviously like lifelong commitment, but it's one that I gladly made and I'm very excited about. So glad I could show y'all all of that. I am currently in the Target parking lot. In other news, I am going to grab some household essentials. I feel like I've been here every day this week. I was picking up cat supplies over the week, and then today I realized we were out of toilet paper, so here I am getting the exciting stuff. Anything else exciting to tell y'all? Ooh, some of my ears for Disney came in. I know for sure that Disney is going to be so hot in July. My mom, my sister, and I are going to Disney in July, and I'm going with Hayden to Disney in October. To make a long story short, Hayden and I were planning on going to Disney in October. I told my parents, they were like, oh, Disney sounds fun. So my mom was like, hey, let's go to Disney, just like a girls trip. So we're going in July. Anyway, I bought some really cute t-shirts. I think you might have seen them in like some other clips or whatever. I got a Toy Story t-shirt and a Little Mermaid t-shirt, and I got matching ears to go with them. So very excited about that. Definitely t-shirts in Disney because I'm not trying to get sunburned. That was exciting. Got those in the mail. And then I also got this in the mail. Oh my god, this is an engraved Stanley Cup. I don't know where I got this in my head. I think I actually just saw an ad on Etsy for one that had like books on it, like books engraved into it, which I thought was precious. But I kept looking at the other listings that same seller had, and I saw this and I was like, that's really pretty. I think the original listing picture was for a pink one, but I was like, what if I get a white one for my new Tesla? Is it stupid? Yeah. Like, did I need a new Stanley? No. But come on, like she's cute. She's cute. I'm excited about this purchase. Maybe I've been having a few too many treat myself moments lately, but no shame in my game. Another merch moment. I think I showed y'all the hooded sweatshirt yesterday or a couple of days ago. This is the t-shirt. So if you want a delightful white comfort colors t-shirt with black embroidery, it'll be available. I don't know, I was on the fence with some of the pieces, whether people wanted a lot of different color options. So for some of the t-shirts, mostly the romance related t-shirts, they are not embroidered because embroidery means you get less color options for the t-shirt. I don't know why. For the like screen printed t-shirts, I have a shitload of colors that you can pick from. For this particular t-shirt, like this is the only colorway, just because unfortunately, like, we don't get very many options, and this just looks, in my opinion, the best. So anyway, white comfort colors t-shirt. I size up a couple of sizes. I'm feeling cute today. My hair's clean. What a day. Oh, in terms of updates, let's talk about Fourth Wing. I actually just finished it on the way to Target. I didn't hate it. I really didn't hate it. I was like so on the fence about my feelings for this book for so long because as I'm reading, I'm thinking of all of the things that are not perfect for me, but Does it have to be perfect to be enjoyable? I don't think so. I think this is definitely like a 3-star read for me. The ending of the book was definitely something I saw coming, like a couple of the twists, not the very, very end twist, like the one at the very end. Not that I'm like super surprised by it, but it wasn't like something I saw coming. I think with books like this, it's hard not to go into it expecting it to not be great, because I feel like for me, books get too hyped and I'm excited about it and I try to go in with no expectations, but I have expectations that it's going to be incredible and then I get a little let down. And I think that kind of happened with this book, but I definitely understand why people enjoy it. It's a fast-paced fantasy. This, I think, feels the most akin to a Sarah J. Maas book over a lot of the other fantasy romances that get put on the market. Like, this is definitely like big fantasy romance vibes, so I mean, why wouldn't people enjoy it? It's interesting the way it's been marketed though. I think like when I first heard about this book, no one was saying, oh, it's fantasy romance, or like, oh, it's a really intense fantasy with a little bit of romance. No, it is very much like fantasy romance, romantasy, whatever you want to call it, like very romance heavy, bangin' kind of book. And I'm not mad at it, but I feel like I should have known that going in. I like the concept of the dragons. Wish the dragons hadn't like telepathically given the heroine of the book horniness. That would have probably been better for me, but overall, it was fairly enjoyable. I'm really not good at articulating my thoughts and feelings today. Wow. So sorry. This whole clip has been sort of a mess, but it's been a day. I got really good sleep last night, so I should be a lot more coherent than I am. Why am I putting my seatbelt on, you may ask? Because I'm not gonna like film in the Target parking lot. I'm gonna film on the edges of the Target parking lot, and then I'm gonna go actually park. I will get back to y'all later. I'm planning on reading some books. I don't know if I will be reading books tonight for this video or tomorrow for this video, because I actually need to work on a like KU video that I'm posting on Patreon. The like secret TBR kind of video that I'm doing for this month. If you want to go check it out, want to subscribe to Patreon just temporarily, it's going to be available on the big baby tier, and it's going to be, are these books as hot as the covers? I'm going to be reading 3 KU books for that, so I'm very excited about it. I need to get that knocked out tonight, so I should go so I can get that done. Happy Saturday, my friends. I am hanging out with some cats that are not mine. I have my sister's cats here. Did I tell y'all that my sister's cats were coming? I don't remember, but Toby is over there on the counter. He looks suspiciously like Teddy, my cat. But yeah, my sister is in Cabo with her boyfriend at the moment, and she dropped off Honey and Toby to be watched over by us. So our house is insane. Like, we are swimming in a sea of cats, which is not a bad problem to have, but I'm trying to make sure that I give all of the cats the proper attention and care that they need. Hayden is obviously helping me out because 6 cats is a lot. The kittens are isolated to our bedroom. I actually just got back from the vet. It's always so interesting, the comments that you get when you bring new animals home, like, oh, are all of your pets getting along? And I'm like, don't introduce them that quickly. We have the kittens isolated in our bedroom. We took them to the vet today. Like I said, they are looking good, very healthy, but they need some more vaccinations. We need to get their blood tested to make sure that they don't have feline leukemia or feline AIDS, and then we also have to test them for lack of a cuter phrase, fecal parasites. So I want to make sure that they are completely healthy before I bring them around any of my cats. And also I don't want to introduce my sister's cats to the kittens. That just seems like a lot of stress. My sister's cats have been here multiple times before, and they know my resident cats. Pepper tends to get a little bit stressed out when we have extra cats in the house. So I put him in my office to hang out, which he is not mad at. He loves the office. And then I have Teddy, my cat, obviously, and Honey and Toby just kind of like roaming the house. And I am sitting out here hanging out with them. They're having a grand old time. They love playing with each other. Toby and Teddy especially, like, are the same size and shape, tiny little legs, big old boys, and they just love to sprint up and down the stairs and just have fun with each other. So I am supervising them at the moment. In a little while after this, I'll put them away, I'll let Pepper out, and then I will go back into the bedroom and hang out with the kittens. So yeah, hectic, but it's going pretty well. Hi, Toby. I wish you would like come over here so you could actually see him. Oh, there's the toilet paper I got yesterday that I need to find a place for. I am still working on some videos for the channel. I have been reading a book called Offside. I think it's by Avery. I don't remember her last name. Is it Keelan or something like that? And I'm actually having a really good time with it. I wasn't expecting much, given that like I'm reading it for kind of a gimmicky, not gimmicky, but like silly video. I didn't look up the premise of any of these books before picking them up, and it's pretty good. I'm hoping actually to get farther in Carrie Soto tonight. Maybe I will like try to finish that one today. I actually have gotten a little farther, but I just feel like I don't have very many thoughts and feelings. It's not a bad book. It's also not a good book. It doesn't feel very personal. It sort of reminds me of Malibu Rising in the sense that like we're following a timeline, but I don't feel like we are in any particular time period for long enough to actually care about the feelings of the characters. We do have a beautiful squeaky girl. Oh, she's flipping. Are you having so much fun? Is that a mousy toy? Oh, she's beautiful. I think she's part ragdoll. I think that is my cue to go back upstairs, but I'll keep you posted. Hello, my beautiful friends. It is the following Saturday. I just wanted to kind of, close out the vlog, round things out, and let you know how I felt about Carrie Soto is back. I did end up finishing that book. I was like twitching. I didn't hate it. I didn't actually think it was terrible. I like sports. If you didn't know, just a little fun fact about Chan. Love sports, specifically football, but I also like pretty much any sport. Growing up, my dad got me into a lot of niche sports, or like less popular sports, I guess, cycling. So I was down to read this book because I like tennis, and I didn't realize like how tennis focused this would be, which is stupid of me because obviously this book's about like a star tennis player. Okay, so here's the thing. I liked the sports aspect. I loved getting like hyped up to read about Carrie's matches with these other women and to see how she handled like the competitive aspect of the sport. I also appreciated that this book really emphasizes leaving things open to interpretation on how you feel about the message of the story. And you know what? TJR never does that. So like shout out to her for doing that in this book, because usually you're just like slapped in the face over and over again with the point that she's trying to make. And in this book, I think there are some like nuanced takes to be had, and I appreciated that. The thing I didn't like about this book, and I feel like I haven't described what this book is even, or have I? I don't know. I haven't like watched the clips back for this vlog. I'm just trying to close her out. This book's about Carrie. She is a like world-renowned famous tennis player, very well respected, has won Wimbledon and like whatever the Grand Slams are. She's won a bunch of Grand Slams. She decides to retire from tennis, I guess, because of a knee injury or something like that, and then she comes back later when she's like 37. And the book itself is about her trying to make a comeback. It's sort of a reflection on her life leading up until that point, but it's also about kind of what she's doing in the present to kind of maintain her legacy. The book in general is really about kind of like maintaining your legacy and what that means, I guess, to you, and should you like claw tooth and nail to maintain a legacy, or should you allow other people to like have their time in the sun. I liked the message, and I liked this idea of like how challenging it is to dedicate your life to something and then like have to not admit defeat, but kind of to like be satisfied with the things you've accomplished, even if someone can like come and take it from you, I guess, essentially. I thought that message was interesting, and I liked that it was one that you could like ponder on and kind of like take for yourself. But I didn't totally love how this book was told. It is not told linearly, which isn't totally terrible for me. I'm fine sometimes with like books not being told, you know, from start to finish. But I think my problem was that we never really get the backstory on Carrie that I really feel like would have lended, I don't want to say credibility, that would have lended, I suppose, some like sympathy towards her as a character. Frankly, I just didn't care about her, and a lot of the time she felt kind of bitchy, and I don't like putting that on female main characters that are supposed to kind of be tough as nails. Like, I think that that's cool. I think that having an unlikable heroine is awesome, but I do think you have to do the work in the book to get us to sympathize with her. I don't think that was done in this story. It felt weird to be thrown into this book where she's trying to like make a comeback. We get brief moments of like how her dad used to be her coach, how she like slept with random guys at the beginning. I wanted to see her rise like from the beginning. I wanted to see her passion as like a child for tennis, and watching her over time slowly like build on her talents, develop into the person that she became, and then make the comeback. And I don't feel like we got enough of that for my personal taste, and so it felt a little disjointed. It felt a little strange. We'd get some throwback chapters, we would get like moments with her dad, and everything just felt a little bit surface level for me, and I wanted more from the story. There is supposed to be this really intense relationship with her dad that is supposed to have an emotional impact and pack an emotional punch because of the things that occur in that relationship over the course of the story, but I just don't think that they totally landed because of how the book was written, and that's sad. You know, is this one of my more favorite TJR books? Yes. I, again, like sports, and I think that saved this book in a lot of ways for me, but I don't think I'm super hyped to like pick up more TJR books in the future, though I will have read her entire backlist when all is said and done. I have to read One True Loves for this same video, so it's like, you know, am I thriving? Not so much, but I am, in fact, you know, doing things, and good for me. I read books for this video, which I'm kind of shocked and surprised at. Like, look at me go. I'm done with this video though. I hope y'all enjoyed this. This was mostly like chatty. I'm glad I got to share things with y'all. Really excited for y'all to see this next week's vlog. Obviously, it's like a week later, so I've pretty much already filmed next week's vlog. You get to see sneak peeks of my merch. I talk more about infertility stuff, which like may or may not excite you, but I got my blood drawn, and I talk about that and just other stuff. I don't know. There's a lot of me and Hayden talking, so stay tuned for that. I love y'all so much. Thanks so much for watching this video, and until next time.